Good morning. It's a holiday, but unfortunately raining. Too bad. Study personalities may have changed during the pandemic. A recent study suggested that the people's personalities may have changed during the coronavirus pandemic and that younger people experienced the greatest changes. The authors of the study, published in the journal PLOS ONE, wanted to study how a stressful global event can affect personality. They looked at data from more than 7,000 people whose personalities were examined and the Understanding America study. Using an online survey, 5 traits of personality were measured once before the pandemic and then again during the pandemic. The later surveys were either completed in 2020 in the earlier days of the pandemic or later in the pandemic between 2021 and 2022. The 5 personality traits were neuroticism, how much a person experiences negative feelings and stress; extroversion, extroversion, how outgoing and sociable a person is; openness, how interested in new ideas and experiences a person is; agreeable, agreeableness, how friendly and trusting a person is; conscientious, conscientious consciousness how organized and responsible a person is. The researchers found there were differences in personality changes earlier and later in the pandemic among those surveyed in 2020. Researchers found that the levels of neuroticism actually decreased, but other traits did not change. However, for those surveyed in 2021 to 2022, there were no significant change in neuroticism compared to before the pandemic, but the other 4 traits decreased. And while small, the researchers said that such levels of change would normally take a decade to occur. The researchers also found significant differences when they compared the data for different age groups. Among those measured in 2021 to 2022, neuroticism levels actually increased for younger adults under 30, and agreeableness and consciousness, conscientiousness decreased much more in younger adults than in older adults. Psychologists believe that people's personalities are normally stable after the age of 30, which might explain why young people were more affected by the pandemic than older people. However, the study's authors also suggest that the differences between the ages may be because younger people were affected by different challenges during the pandemic, such as school closures and problems finding jobs. Discussion: what are your thoughts on the findings of this study? Do you think the pandemic had any impact on your personality? Probably so. Do you find it surprising that the young people experience the biggest personality changes as a result of the pandemic? Not really. What do you make of the idea that people's personalities remain stable after the age of 30? In your opinion, what are the most desirable personality traits? Outgoing and go-getter. Further discussion: have you ever taken a personality test? Would you say you are a good judge of character? Do you have any friends whose personalities are very different from yours? Which of the people you know have the most admirable personality traits? Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle. What do you make of this statement? My cat.